We're just 1 month away from Creed 3's release, and Michael B. Jordan is already thinking about Creed 4. So, what's his message to his fans concerning Creed 4? Well, for starters, he wants to expand the Creed universe, as Michael B. Jordan went on a press tour to promote Creed 3.
That's kind of part of the character arc for Adonis and Victor in this movie is to kind of overcome that battle, that challenge. That it's not about us, right? It's not about them. It's not about our fathers. It's really about us and what we're going through. So
He's setting his eyes on more Creed movies past this one. But how does he plan on doing that? Well, ever since his first movie was released in 2015, he became determined to continue this story after he got a positive response from his fans. In that light, he's even talked about how Creed 3 will be far better than the sequel. So, needless to say, this shows that he's serious about expanding the Creedverse. Because if he wasn't, he wouldn't put in more effort, or reprise his role as Adonis Creed for that matter. Within this context, Jordan also said that we should expect some more things around Creed. I can only wonder what that means. Maybe he has plans for some spin-offs. More on that later. Now, how does he plan to turn his dreams into reality? Let's start from the beginning. After Amazon's acquisition of MGM, Amazon also bought the rights to Creed and the Rocky franchise. And get this, they also have the rights to James Bond now, but only time will tell how that plays out. For now, let's just stick to Creed. We have plenty of time to talk about Bond in another video. So, when you combine Amazon's acquisition with Jordan's vision, it's easy to see how they'll be more than successful with this Creedverse idea. I mean, sure, Stallone won't be in the franchise, the same franchise he founded back in 1975, but that window is still open, and who knows, we might see a Stallone cameo, or better yet, a full-on role in Creed 3. And not to mention, it wouldn't be a bad idea to reintroduce the man who started it all. Like, nobody can deny that Rocky was a cinema masterpiece, a masterpiece that shook the industry in the late 70s, and it all happened under Stallone's leadership.
So I go in there and I see George Lucas and the producer, and I can tell instantly, you know, when no one likes you. They look like this.
So, it'll probably be wise to include him in the Creedverse. Make it happen, Jordan. Now, let's talk about what Jordan has confirmed for Creed 4. Apart from hints here and there for spin-offs, he wants to follow Rocky's footsteps and turn Creed into Rocky's extension in every shape and form, which probably means putting Rocky into the mix again. But it's uncertain whether or not it will be Stallone who plays Rocky again. Because, let's not forget, the man's pretty old now. Sure, he's still a good-looking dude, don't get me wrong, but he's still old nonetheless. Also, did you know, Stallone was actually approached for Creed 3, but he declined because it wasn't something he wanted to do. More specifically, he didn't like the direction the franchise was going in. He still regrets it though, so this begs the question, has Jordan started working on Creed 4 yet? And I mean, casting, screenplay, and filming. Well, you'd be happy to know he's already started working on it, but he didn't give any other specific details. Either way, from what I know, the whole franchise will follow Creed's rise in boxing, a rise that includes all kinds of ups and downs. The last time we saw Adonis Creed, he went toe-to-toe against Victor Drago, the man whose father, yeah, Ivan Drago, killed Adonis's dad in Rocky 4. So, now, Creed 3 will pick up several years after he's already beaten Victor, with new obstacles for Creed to overcome. During an interview with IGN, Jordan actually didn't give any specific details whatsoever. Instead, he went on and on about expanding this boxer's universe, as well as some other things, like spin-offs or follow-ups. But
let's talk about Creed 2. It came out a huge success, bigger than the first one. Made over $100-something million. I mean, congrats, buddy.
Thank you so much, man.
I mean, that's
Appreciate it. No, it's
the hard work. It's the hard work that makes it.
Man. It's being focused and locked in, and honestly,
how will this Creed/Rocky universe grow? Well, there's no doubt that the Rocky movie franchise itself suffered from a lot of ups and downs. For instance, did you know when Stallone initially started selling the idea for a Rocky movie, no director or producer was interested in the idea? Yeah, that's right. Arguably one of the most iconic movies was turned down by a majority of filmmakers. And if that wasn't enough, it was hard hard for Stallone to compete with Arnold back in the day. So, fast forward to 2015, Creed rebooted the whole franchise and gave the Rocky universe a second chance. With Rocky deeply invested in Creed's training and well-being, it was the perfect recipe for a blockbuster. Not to mention, they did everything beautifully. Not only did it bring back Stallone, but it also paired him with a superstar actor like Jordan. So, there's lots of room to grow this universe. But now, apparently, in contrast to Creed 2 that showed a rivalry back from the old Rocky films, Creed 3 will focus solely on Adonis Creed, which is probably why Stallone didn't want to be a part of it. One theory suggests that this time jump has one purpose, and one purpose alone: to set up Creed for more stories in the future, revolving around Adonis. I mean, it makes sense when you think about it. There could be more stories, but with maybe no Rocky on board this time, which would be a shame, not gonna lie. But it will set up a very interesting dynamic with Adonis and his family. Not to mention, with Damian Anderson making his entry, this will help tell us more about Adonis's past, the past that the previous failed to tell us about. And honestly, this seems like a good step forward after taking care of Rocky's demons in the past movies. Now, Damian is no doubt portrayed as a sympathetic villain. Plus, in Creed 3's trailer, it shows both Adonis and Damian as childhood pals before he was arrested. But Damian is undoubtedly a very intricate villain, mainly because of his aggression, unless I'm wrong and we get some other villain instead. But it's also possible that Creed might show him as a sympathetic villain, like Loki from the MCU for example, who becomes a hero towards the end of his narrative. Who knows? Either way, with all that being said, the Creed franchise is definitely here to stay. Not only is he looking to expand this universe, but it also seems like we'll learn more about Adonis's character, not just in this movie, but in all the future movies as well. If Jordan's comments during his interviews are any indication, and if all goes well, this franchise has a lot of potential to expand with more supporting characters and stories. But right now, the future of this franchise is riding on Creed 3 and how well it performs. So sit tight. We'll find out soon enough if this franchise has a future or not. Because if it does, Michael B. Jordan has said Creed 4 for sure, which means he's doing everything in his power to keep this Creed train going, with spin-offs and the works. Now, in the meantime, sit back and wait for March 3rd, because that's when Creed 3 is coming to a theater near you, with Jordan's directorial debut no less. With this series taking place as an extension of Rocky films, it'll explore the story of Rocky Balboa's mentee, Adonis Creed, and show us the struggles of a modern-day boxer, with a childhood friend facing off against him in the ring no less. So, in case you haven't watched Creed 1 or 2, I suggest you go watch them right now to catch up on what's going on and what to expect from Creed 3, because Creed 3 is gonna be very different, with Jordan finally letting the Rocky past go with this threequel. Are you excited? Because I sure am. That was all about what Creed 3 and 4 could look like. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.